The Graves Act, NJ, 2C 43-6, paragraph C. The Graves Act is part of the sentencing guidelines, which are implemented at the conclusion of a trial or a plea in which a verdict of guilty or a plea of guilty is elicited from the defendant. Then the court has to decide, okay, what's the appropriate punishment for what you've been found guilty of. In virtually all possessory weapons offenses, whether it be 2C 39-5 or 2C 39-4, the Graves Act, as amended in 2008, requires that the court impose a mandatory minimum prison sentence that must be served without possibility of parole, subject only to the upper end of the range of sentencing guidelines. So, for example, I spoke earlier about a case in which I got a young man a minimum 1 year mandatory minimum that had to be served in the state prison over a possible 5-year sentence for a third degree. So let me explain that a little bit. If the offense is a third degree, the most the court could give you is 5 years. That's the upper limit of the sentencing guideline, of the range. However, the court has to give you some mandatory jail that you must do without possibility of parole. So the question amounts to, what would that be under the specific facts of this case? Because it's a case-by-case kind of analysis. If it's a second-degree offense, the upper range is 10 years, minimum 5 years, so now you're looking at a much more serious situation where, very common to see a flat 5 years without possibility of parole, okay? So that's the significance of the Graves Act. It was an act that was originally designed to, protect people from gang violence and or crime against elderly persons, and then that was the intent, and then it got expanded to apply to all possessory weapons offenses because people in the legislature decided, and the Attorney General's office decided, that if you just have possession of a weapon, that can't be a good thing. It's dangerous for the public. You really need to be punished, and we're going to put you away. Because why? Because too many liberal judges are letting too many people off with no jail, and that's not good for society. We needed to protect the health, safety, welfare of all people, not just old people. So that's how that got enacted and expanded. My name is Stephen A. Gravatt. My telephone number is 732-337-7922. I've handled many of these cases, and I can help you probably if you are charged with a possessory weapons offense. One case comes to mind of an individual who was licensed in the state of Pennsylvania, came to New Jersey with a handgun, wasn't licensed here. Ultimate result, dismissal of the charges, confiscation of the weapon, permanent loss of the weapon, but no jail, no conviction. That's the kind of thing that you hope. That's a 100% win. That's a home run, as they say. But the whole thing in these cases is to get some kind of relief that affords you a life after this is over. Thank you. Give me a call. I can help. Have a nice day.